Hey guys, I'm going to be posting 3 videos today that are all a part of the same message, but they build on each other. And I also breaking them up because I know sometimes it's easier just to watch. Sometimes we just have like 5 minutes to watch something. So I'm breaking them up, but I'll be posting all 3 of them today, and they're meant to be watched 1, 2, 3 in an order. I'm going to start off just by thanking those of you who pray for this ministry, the comments, the questions, the encouragements, and the financial support that is sent into this ministry. It is a great blessing, especially in seasons like this, where the spirit of Jezebel has been large at work against those who would speak out for the Lord, speak boldly, speak truth, and speak what the word of the Lord is from heaven in this hour. And that spirit has really been raging against me personally and this ministry. I know that spirit well because of just my experience with whenever I rise up to speak truth, especially if it's a truth that the enemy hates, and that spirit of Jezebel, spirit of Antichrist in the earth, if it's a message that spirit hates and is a threat to that spirit, then I face the wrath. I definitely face great resistance, and I can feel it in the spirit realm. And the reason I'm sharing this is first to thank you for your prayers and for your encouragement. That spirit of Jezebel that's pervading the atmosphere and rearing its head in this hour. Many of you are feeling that. Maybe you don't even know what's going on, why all of a sudden you feel like giving up on the assignment that the Lord's given you, or you feel a despondency. That is how that spirit attacks, especially those who are called to be a voice. When we look at that spirit through the Queen Jezebel of the Bible, we see that she came hard against the prophets of God, against Elijah the prophet, and what he spoke was a threat to her control and her plans of wickedness. And we see Elijah, this great man of God who spoke so boldly. His life was marked by boldness. We see that when he came against Jezebel, despondency, the feeling of wanting to give up, the feeling of I can't keep going, came upon him. And so that is a marker of, if you are possibly battling this spirit, I know that it is reared its head in the atmosphere. It's very strong in the atmosphere, and not just in the United States, but across the earth. It's lashing out against those who would boldly stand for righteousness and speak truth, against woke culture, against religious wokeism, and wokeness in the church. And that's what I wanted to speak to you guys about for a minute today. So if that's you and you're feeling, many of you, if you've been speaking truth for the Lord, if your voice is how the Lord uses your voice as a vessel, if that's how he uses you, then you know this battle against Jezebel. It will come upon you to fight you, to try to bring despondency, depression. It's an oppressive feeling of all of a sudden, like you want to give up on what the Lord's given you to do. And that's when you know you're fighting a spirit of Jezebel. And so if that's you, I want to encourage you to first encourage yourself in the Lord, to spend time in the Lord's presence. Let him minister to you just as the angels of the Lord ministered to the prophet Elijah in the desert when he just wanted to go there and give up. The Lord didn't give up on him, and the Lord will not give up on you. And I want to encourage you in this hour, if that's what you're going through and facing, to know you're facing a spirit, but you, if you belong to the Lord Jesus Christ, have been given authority to rise up in the authority of Jesus Christ and stand firm in who you are and the call that the Lord has given you to do, the call on your life. Stay standing and encourage yourself in the Lord. Now, this spirit of Jezebel has also, it's pervaded the atmosphere in the nations, and it's especially pervaded, we've seen it's creeping into the church, but now it's on full display, this spirit of Jezebel, and we can see it in its attack on the church is mainly through deception. Just like Jezebel in the Bible deceived the Israelites into mixture, into compromise, into accepting the culture of the day with all of her mixture of all these other gods and the Baal that she worshiped. And that is what this spirit seeks to do through the church, is through deception, she seeks for the church to embrace mixture and the cultural expectations. And this spirit, if it's reigning in a church or in the church atmosphere, you'll see an unwillingness in the people of God to stand against evil. So we have to pray against this. We have to stand guard against this spirit, because when the Lord is raising up voices and telling and releasing words through his servants and the watchmen of the hour, that Jezebel spirit will rise up to lash out and try to bully those voices into submission. And she'll even use believers who are under a religious woke mindset to try to silence the voices and shame the voices of truth and say, you're not being loving because you're not saying what I want to hear. You're not praying for all the different people that I expect you to pray for. No, when a servant of God is given a word to deliver, that servant should deliver the word as the Lord gives it. And those woke expectations are off the table. And so we need to pray against this religious wokeness, as the Lord described it to me. And this is what I heard him say about the religious wokeness that's partnering with the Jezebel spirit. It screams that to stand for truth and against evil is unloving. This spirit, through people in the church, will scream at truth tellers and servants of the Lord and say that you're being unloving, when really it hates that those voices are standing for truth and against evil. And it will use believers to send these attacks. Many will just stay silent. Instead of attacking truth or standing up against evil, many in the church will stay silent under the bullying of the Jezebel spirit in order to avoid false accusation. Or this is what I heard the Lord say: to avoid false accusation or the flogging of their reputation by woke church culture. So people in fear, ministry leaders, pastors, churches, will stay silent in the face of evil to avoid the flogging of their reputation and false accusation by woke church culture. And so we have to be aware of this, and we have to stand firm against that spirit bullying people into submission, into silence, into calling out truth tellers and saying they're not being loving for speaking the truth. This is what is going on in the atmosphere, and we need to recognize that it's a spirit, but we need to be on guard to see it for what it is. And the last thing I felt the Lord lead me to talk about for a moment is reputation. When the Lord gives you a word to release, or the Lord is revealing truth to you, and you know it's unpopular according to the cultural woke standards, even in your own church, the religious woke, you have to lay down your reputation. The moment you say yes and answer the call of the Lord, especially if you're going to be used to speak for the Lord and for truth in the earth, one of the first things to go is your reputation. And I can tell you this from experience. You got to lay reputation down and say, I will not make reputation an idol. In fact, I don't even need a reputation. I am doing this unto you, Lord. And so my reputation, I lay it on the altar. And the second part that the Lord really spoke to me, and I believe this will speak to many of you who are being convicted right now to lay down your reputation. The Lord led me to say this, and I want you to come into agreement with it if this is you. As a truth teller, I will not allow an idol of reputation in my heart by bowing to the idol of religious wokeness in yours. So you're going to say that to a woke culture and to a woke church culture. You're going to say, I will not allow an idol of reputation. I won't set up an idol to reputation in my own heart by bowing to the idol of religious wokeness that's in the church or in the culture. I'm not going to do it. I won't make an idol to bow in order to bow to your idol. So lay down reputation, stand firm in the truth, recognize it is a spirit that's waging war against the people of God, against truth in this hour in the nation. Stand firm, and the Lord Jesus will defend you against your accusers. And when we look at false accusation, it is part of the promised persecution of those who would speak truth and righteousness in the earth. We look at every single person that stood for truth throughout the Bible, and even the Lord Jesus himself faced false accusation after false accusation because they spoke truth, and it was a threat to the kingdom of darkness. So that is the foundation I want to lay in this first video, and I will see you in the next one.